7 Unit 8, Lesson 3, Part 1. This will be the introduction to histograms. I can represent data in a histogram and interpret histograms. First, a histogram uses bars to display numerical data that have been organized into equal intervals. The x-axis has the intervals or classes, and the y-axis will have the frequency. So, going over the vocabulary in a little bit of detail here. So interval is a continuous set of values between two endpoints. An example of that would be all values between 150 and 154.9 is an example of an interval. A class, it's a statistical group. Data points put into a group based on belonging to an interval. So you could have the 150 through 154.9 interval and use that as a class. The 155 through 159.9 could be an interval used as a class. And a histogram is a data display that uses rectangles whose area is proportional to the frequency of the variable and whose width is equal to the class interval. So here's an example of a histogram. An 8th grade class was surveyed to determine the height of each student. The measurements are shown in the histogram at the left. This histogram was based on data I collected from a class of 8th grade students 1 or 2 years ago. I don't remember which, but you can see the different classes here at the bottom. We've got the 150 through 154.9 being the shortest class, on up to the 174 through 179.9 being the taller class. So a little bit more about understanding them. Histograms have to be classes of numbers on the x-axis. There is no space between the bars. And on the side it'll have frequency. On this one down here it has percent of population. Percent, that's just a relative frequency. So you generally have frequency or relative frequency. Now these two examples over here are not histograms because along the x-axis these are not numerical values, these are categories, categorical data. So these are not called histograms. This would just be called a bar graph. Bar graphs are used for categorical data. Histograms are used for numerical data when it's numbers across the x-axis. It's just that the numbers have been split up into groups. Thanks for watching.